Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Beta and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to get out of debt and simplify our financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Well, hello and a happy Friday. I hope that you guys have had a wonderful week. It has been quite an eventful week here in the Simple household. You will see all of that when I get into the weekly check-in because it was eventful financially. So, well, and emotionally. You'll see. Anyways. If you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. And these videos are videos that I do where I track the weekly spending, specifically the non-cash weekly spending from the last week. If you're new to cash budgeting and cash stuffing, the gist of it is I have a bunch of different categories within my budget. You can go watch my most recent budget with me in order to get an idea for how we do our family budget. And then certain categories of our finances, we keep that money in the bank, mostly bills and expenses, major expenses. And then for everything else, we cash stuff. So if I happen to swipe my debit card for a category in our budget that we cash stuff for, I have to take that money back to the bank. So that's what this is. So I am checking in this past week of expenses, and we had a major credit card swipe, not credit card, nix that. We are paying off our debt. We aren't swiping our credit card. We had a major debit card swipe. And so that money for sure needs to go back to the bank. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys zoomed in and we will get into the expense tracking. All right, so first and foremost, I'm just going to address the expense tracker here is in my Etsy shop, which is linked below. I just released a digital budget planner for those of you who are digital budgeting folks. It is 100% hyperlinked. It is 249 pages, and I'm sure that's driving some of you crazy who do not understand my odd numbers, but we have to stay on brand over here at the Simple Budget. Anyways, that one is linked in my shop, but for those of you who are paper people, and I am a paper people, I will be using my digital planner on my channel moving forward. Actually, the way that I'm going to be filming my weekly check-ins moving forward is going to be different as well. I'm actually going to print my budget planner, and treat it as a budget planner. I did all of this work creating it, and I haven't been using it as it is designed to be used. But anyways, for now, this sheet, I have a lot of my budget planner, my printable budget planner is kind of available like a la carte on my Etsy shop. I do have certain hunks of the budget planner available for purchase. For example, this is part of what I call my monthly planner. So it is 31 pages of everything that you will need for a month of budgeting. And this is part of that. I have, I think, 10 expense tracking sheets, but you can print them over and over again once you download it digitally. So it's a PDF. Excuse me. Anyway, as part of my little shop revamp, when I introduced my digital budget planner, I also revamped a lot of the printables in my shop as well. And so you may notice that some of this has changed. And I did that because I wanted to make sure that it was making the most sense for not only how I go about doing these weekly check-ins, but also so that it's just user-friendly for everybody in general. So I'll kind of show you how I did. Like, I eliminated some of the row or columns that I had here and just made this much more streamlined for like my needs, but also just kind of generic needs as well. So anyways, all of that being said, y'all know I love a ramble moment. We will just get into the check-in. So first up, on the 1st of September was oh my goodness, I'm already tripping up. Okay, so I'm just going to put coffee because this is a singular standalone coffee shop that is near to where I work, and I know the owner, and she's so lovely. Anyways, so I popped in here. We had a new hire at work this day, and this was my first time working with her. And so I bought me, her, and my other coworker, who I have worked with for months now and just love, some coffee this day. Just kind of like a welcome to the team kind of gift, if you will. So anyways, this is coming from the work food category in our budget. And the total was $15.41. The owner actually gave me a discount because we have a great working relationship with this particular coffee shop. So anyways, I will update the balance once we pop into the envelopes here. And I am going to be returning $16 to the bank for this transaction. If you are new, what we do here in my house is if we make an expense, when the money that we return to the bank, we round up to the next dollar, because obviously we don't have change in our cash envelopes here. And so this change builds up in our account and just kind of acts as a buffer, like a miscellaneous buffer that we will pull from, excuse me, from time to time. And we did do that this week at some point. I'll go ahead and go over that with you guys too. Next up, also on the 1st, was an Amazon purchase. And this one was actually split into 2 different categories. So the total for this is going to be $32.42. And so I'm going to put a line through this because we have multiple categories, and a line through this just so that I know that I'm not adding any of these things up. So our 2 categories are from household, and I'm racking my brain trying to remember what we purchased this day. And for the life of me, I have no clue. So, and the other one was from home maintenance. So it was $20 of this was from household, and $12.42 was from home maintenance. And so what we're gonna do is return 20 to the bank from here and 13 to the bank from here. And then next up was on the 5th. So we did have some time without any purchases, which is, that's always fun. It was Albertsons. So y'all are gonna laugh. My husband and I, our anniversary was over the Labor Day weekend, and I had pulled out a steak to cook, and I had some pork belly, and I was just gonna have just a really nice anniversary dinner. Even though we weren't going out on a date, I was still gonna have, a nice meal for us. And then I was leaving work because I worked that day. Super romantic. And I called my husband and I was like, how do you feel about pizza and ice cream? And he was like, yes, let's do it. Because for those of you who are new to my channel, I am just broken with all of the autoimmune issues. And so I have a very strict diet. I basically eat the carnivore diet, except for I do have some cheese, because cheese doesn't really bother me, which is fantastic, because who doesn't love some cheese? Anyway, I rarely leave the 4 corners of that diet, because if I do so, it really hurts my body. I'm super inflamed afterward. But I just felt like some pizza. And so we got pizza, and then the ice cream that we got was from Albertsons. And so we pulled this from Family Fun, and the justification was everybody was enjoying this ice cream. And, sometimes with your budget, you can have a little bit of wiggle room with how you go about categorizing things. And so that's what we did this day. The total was $15.93. I know that's insane for ice cream, but we got like a half gallon or whatever for the kids. And then we each got a Ben & Jerry's pint for ourselves. And so that's how that worked out. And I'll be returning $16 to the bank from this purchase. Excuse me. And right after that is going to be the pizza place. It's called Joe's. And I feel comfortable sharing this name because it is a small chain in the DFW area, but the DFW area is rather large. So I feel confident that, it would be difficult to nail me down with that one. This one is coming from Dine Out. And we had actually depleted Dine Out. And so this was $40. It was actually a little bit more than 40, but my husband took some change from our online coin jar that I was talking about earlier up here and moved it to here. And then since Dine Out had been depleted, I just won't be stuffing it for the remainder of the month. So I've already updated my monthly funding plan to reflect that it won't be stuffed for the rest of the month. Sometimes stuff like this just happens in your budget. And I've mentioned this before on our channel, but we don't have a problem overspending in a category based on what we have in the envelope if we know we're going to be stuffing it for the rest of the month and we know we have the money there to cover that expense, if that makes sense. So we didn't have any money in Dine Out when we did this, but we were going to be stuffing it actually slightly more than $40 for the rest of the month. And so we just won't be doing that. So the way that you feel comfortable with doing your budget, especially if you have a tendency to overspend or impulse buy or whatever, you really have to know yourself and determine whether or not this is something that you can do. But my husband and I have done a lot of work since the beginning of this year. I say my husband and I have done a lot of work since the beginning of this year, kind of retraining my brain to not spend and not impulse buy on things that are absolutely unnecessary. And so we don't mind doing something like this every now and then. And so that's just how we work it. I say this, but I do have some spending coming up in here for my own personal spending, but we budget for it. The money's there. I'm allowed to spend my spending money. But anyway, moving on. Also on the 5th, and I'm just going to put Veda work because I purchased something for my husband for Christmas from my work, and where I work is very specific. So I would rather you not be able to come find me if you're a scary internet person. If you're not a scary internet person, I have no problem with you finding me, but for everybody else. Anyways, this is going to come from the Christmas category. And excuse me, goodness gracious. It was $29.23. Love my employee discount. And I'm going to be returning $30 to the bank from that category. And my husband does not know what it is. He just knows that I spent it because it was a gift for him. I don't know if I mentioned that. Next up, where am I? There we go. On the 5th, Amazon. And it was from the materials category. I needed to buy some more vellum. Oh my gosh. So what happened was my computer was open and on my floor in the same room where my robot vacuum was running. Guys, I cannot make this up. And I guess I had a document open and the robot vacuum ran over the keyboard and hit the right button to print and printed out, I don't know, hundreds of this document. And I had vellum, most of my vellum sitting in the paper tray because I was printing envelopes that day. And it used up all of my vellum and I was so upset. What a waste of materials and a knock in my business expenses. But live and learn, I have not made that mistake more than once. And so that's why I had to buy vellum again so soon after having purchased it the last time. Oh, I was so mad. Anyway, the total was $41.79. And I'm going to be paying $42 back to the bank. Next up was a me purchase. So on the 5th, this came through from Poshmark. And of course, I'll tell you guys all about it because you know I love what I have just added into my wardrobe moment with you guys. So the total was $86.57. And I'm gonna have to pay back $87 to the bank. So let me tell you guys. So I came of age during the chunky loafers era of the 90s. And those of you who are around my age, I'm 38, will probably remember it as well. I remember it quite fondly. And so, you know, fashion is cyclical, and the return of the chunky loafer is upon us. So about 2 to 3 years ago, I think Prada re-released their very chunky loafer. If I can find a picture of a pair that I really think is fabulous, I'll leave it up on the screen. And I love those loafers, but Veda does not live in the Prada neighborhood. That's just not where my expense strength is, if you will. And so I've been kind of looking for a dupe that is still good quality and, you know, wanting to add them into my wardrobe because I am a huge loafers person. I have a tan pair from a brand called Cezanne, which I absolutely love and cannot recommend highly enough to you. If you are looking for quality clothing in general, I recommend them. They are very pricey. They are a sustainable brand, and they're a French brand, if you can't tell by the name, Cezanne. And I just love them. And their loafer, I'm not sure if they still make this. I think it's called the Michael loafer. But either way, it is one of my most worn pairs of shoes. And definitely, like, the cost per wear that I've gotten out of them just far exceeds, you know, what I paid for them. So anyways, so I have those. And then I do have a black pair from Madewell that I absolutely love. I think they were a Christmas gift, actually, from my husband a couple years ago. And love them to pieces. But I wanted to add a chunky loafer into my wardrobe. This is the longest story ever. I'm sorry. But I like telling you guys these things. It's like the nuts and bolts of your budget. And especially if you make a fun purchase, like especially one that you've been thinking about for a long time. Like this one I have been thinking about for a long time. Anyway, so Sam Edelman is a brand of shoes that I always look for because the quality is good and like the materials they use are nice and all that sort of thing. So they make a chunky loafer called Lars. It's Laurs. And it retails for about $150. And, you know, given the cost of tax and shipping and all that kind of stuff, I'd probably end up spending around $165 on the shoes. And so I've been trying to find an alternate, a secondhand pair of them on Poshmark. And I did. I found a lady who she missed the window to return them. She didn't like them on her foot. She missed the window to return them, and she said that there was a scuff on the inside of the shoe, and I looked at the pictures and I was fine. Like, I'm not bothered about something like that. And so I made her an offer, and she accepted my offer. And so including tax and shipping, they're costing me $86.57. So essentially almost half the price, which I'm so stoked about. So anyways, that was a very long, rambly story, but I'm so excited about them. I'll post a picture of them or put a picture of them up on the screen so that you can see what they look like. I love them so much, and I cannot wait to get them in and wear them when it's not 8,000 degrees outside, because Texas is doing the most right now. Anyways, moving on. Next up, also on the 5th, was an Apple purchase, like the brand, the computer people, the iPhone geniuses. Anyway, it's coming from Family Fun because we actually purchased a movie that my kids hated, but my husband and I really like. It's Castaway, and we wanted to watch it on our anniversary because we are just, you know, very exciting people over here. So we didn't have it. We thought we had it, but we didn't. So instead of renting it for like $4, we bought it for, I guess, what, $10.59. I guess that includes tax. Tax kills me. Anyways, I will be returning $11 to the bank for that one. And then this is where we get into the eventful week. So I'm just going to put urgent care here. That's right, urgent care. This is coming from medical, and it is a very painful $250 because this is our copay for urgent care / emergency room visits. So what happened was, yes, this is a put the pen down conversation. My kids had off they had a long Labor Day weekend, and it was the last day of the Labor Day vacation. So it was Tuesday. And my daughter had taken the cardboard cover that was empty from my shipping labels, actually, that I use in my Etsy shop. And she was pretending to ice skate around the house on it. And she slipped, her feet went right out from underneath of her, and nothing broke her fall. And she hit her head right on the floor. Thank God she's still a kid, because she's a tall 8-year-old, but she's still an 8-year-old. And so even though the fall was far for her, it wasn't far, I guess, as if she had been like an adult or something. I was really struggling to get my words out there. But nonetheless, she still hit her head right on the floor. And immediately afterward, she seemed relatively okay. She went white as a sheet and super, super sweaty. So you could tell her body was in shock. And I just had her sitting down next to me and drinking water and kind of just vegging out after a somewhat traumatic incident. So then about 20 minutes after she fell, she started exhibiting some signs of disorientation. She was struggling to know what day it was, and she didn't know whether she had gone to school that day. And for those of you who may not know, that is one of the signs of a potential concussion. And so I was just kind of monitoring her, because if she exhibited other ones, I was going to take her into urgent care. But then as the day progressed, she snapped back to her normal self. So since they were with me, I took them grocery shopping that day. I treated them to Chick-fil-A, especially after a fall like that. I was like, let me just get you some Chick-fil-A. And after that, she really bounced back. The disorientation seemed to go away. She wasn't nauseous. Obviously, she ate Chick-fil-A, and she really seemed to perk back up and get back to normal. Except for that night when I was putting her to bed, she was complaining that her head was hurting her. And my daughter has a really, really high pain tolerance. And so the fact that she was expressing any sort of discomfort was alarming to me, just because, especially with a head injury, you just don't want to play around. And I thought, you know what? It's about to be bedtime. Obviously, she didn't try to fall asleep right after she hit her head, because they recommend that you don't let them do that. But I was just nervous to put her to bed complaining of head pain. So off we went to urgent care. We packed our little bag of urgent care goodies. This is not a regular thing for us, but I am not about to sit in urgent care for hours and hours unprepared. So I had some books for her, and a water bottle, and some little snacks. And of course, her little stuffed animal that she keeps with her for comfort, just things like that, And then we went off to urgent care, and it was a relatively quick process, actually, because once I described what happened and the symptoms and the fact that she had been fine for many, many hours that day, the doctor on call was like, you know what? She's fine, actually. Of course, her head is going to hurt. She fell and hit it really hard. Nothing broke her fall. But given where she hit her head, it was toward the back. That's not a worrisome spot to hit your head as far as a traumatic event is concerned for your head. And he was so confident in her recovery, so to speak, that he didn't even want to subject her to the radiation from a CAT scan. So we didn't do that. He sent us on our way, told us that she was fine to sleep, and she has recovered swimmingly. In fact, I kept her home from school yesterday, and she really didn't even need to stay home from school, but she did. So I wanted to keep an eye on her for another day and not send her into school on a PE day because she had PE yesterday. So anyways, that's what happened. And thank God for our medical envelope that we've been building up all year, because we didn't have to put this on a credit card. Not that we would have, but we would have pulled from our emergency fund. But we had the money sitting in medical. We didn't have to pull it from our emergency fund, which is even more exciting. And now this one is going to be almost completely depleted, but that's okay. We build it up every month. It's fine. But definitely that $250 hurt. It was like, what am I paying insurance for? Anyways, we are going to end this portion of the check-in with a purchase that you've all been waiting for, Target. So it is, as per usual, multiple categories. Our total for this particular purchase was actually $16.19. And let me cross through that. It broke down into grocery and coin jar, which is our online coin jar, because I got myself a little coffee this day. But the grocery portion of this was the coffee beans that I purchased to make my cold brew, which I often have featured on my channel here because I make my own cold brew. Actually, I'm gonna take a sip of my cold brew. So anyways, I always buy my grounds. I have to replenish them like every 2 weeks or so. And so that was $15. And since I purchased a coffee, technically that should have come from my envelope, but my husband was like, we'll just pull it. Or I think I advocated for myself to not have to pay the $1.19 from my envelope. And he graciously complied. So I'll be returning $15 to the bank from this one and not from this one because, again, that came from our online or in-account coin jar. And then this was my grocery shopping day. And so also at Target, it was broken down into a couple different categories, actually. So the total purchase was $105.44. And let's see. So it was grocery, equipment, and home. And actually, if my husband is rewatching this, I'll tell him before he rewatches this, but this was not what we discussed when we went over our account last night. I actually pulled all of it from equipment, but I decided to split it, and I'll explain why in just a minute. So it was $70.45 from grocery. So I'll be taking $71 back to the bank for that one. And then it's going to be $24.99 from equipment. This is from my Etsy business, or my business binder that has my YouTube and Etsy income categories in it. And then home for $10. So I'm going to be returning $10 to the bank from this one and $25 from this one. And the reason why I decided to split this. So pulling this from equipment was really playing it fast and loose in the category conversation. But what I did was I thought, it'll be so nice when fall officially rolls around to have a fall looking plant sitting up here in my little corner when I'm more zoomed out. Won't that be lovely to have a little fall plant? And so and then of course, because I can't help myself, I got another candle. And so I decided, because it's for my YouTube channel, I was going to pull it from the equipment category of my budget that I do for different it's my business binder categories that I decided to pull from instead of pulling from like home or something like that, because I would be using it specifically for my channel. Again, I know we're playing it fast and loose, pulling it from like equipment, but I didn't want to pull it from YouTube because I'm trying to save up for a giveaway for when and if I reach 5K. Please subscribe if you haven't. So I didn't want to pull from YouTube. And so I was like, let me just pull from equipment because technically it's kind of like equipment for my channel. We're playing it fast and loose. This is like such a semantics game. But anyway, the total purchase, because I purchased I got the amber glass jar for free. That's another story. Are you guys prepared for stories today? Apparently this is just a story time video. So I'm going to just tell you because it's amazing. So the Chip and Joanna line at Target has these fall little like floral arrangement pieces. And this one that I really, really loved actually and wanted to buy for the channel was, oh my gosh, I'm losing my words. But I looked at the price of it and it was $30. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm sure I could make that, like I could find the materials to buy and make that cheaper. So I couldn't. I mean, I went on Amazon and I tried to find like a similar amber glass jar and I just wasn't finding it. There were a bunch on Etsy, but I may as well just go to Chip and Joanna and buy that's the same thing that I found. I'll leave a picture of it if I can find it on the website. So this day I just so happened to be going through that section and I found the amber glass jar where somebody had like pulled out the leaves from it. So it was just the jar sitting there. And I was like, what the heck? So this is like a damaged product. So I'm going to see if they'll give me like a discount on it or whatever. And I found some other little like floral pieces that I thought would look pretty inside of it that were $14.99. And I thought, if I get this glass jar for like $5 or whatever, like that to me is better than paying full price for the whole arrangement. Well, I got up to the front register and the lady was like, you can just take it. If it's not what it was designed to be, I'm not going to charge you for something that is essentially broken. So I got the amber glass jar for free. My candle was $20, however. And so that's why the total from that like particular homeware purchase was $34.99. But I didn't care. I was so excited to get that amber glass jar for free and like put the pretty florals in it. And so when it's officially fall, I'm like making myself hold out. When it's officially fall, I will change the little plant that you guys see up in the corner there and start burning all my fall scented candles. But anyways, so that's how that broke down. But at first I was going to pull it all from equipment and I was like, you know what? We have $10 in home and I bought a candle and technically, the candle purchase really does make the whole house happy. It's not just a channel related thing. So that's why I did that. Anyways, now that I have rambled on incessantly for an obnoxious amount of time, I'm going to zoom you guys back out. We will do all of the mathing that we need to do for the channel for the check-in, and then go ahead and pull the cash out. So editing this video is going to be hilarious because I've had like 18 different story times in this thing and I'm just praying that, you guys are still putting up with me at this point. Anyways, I am going to go ahead and zoom you guys through the process of me adding up all of this money that I'm going to be returning to the bank, and then I will bring you back and we will unstuff the cash. All right, so at the end of the unstuffing, we should have $606 sitting in the cash tray. And I just got to say, revamping the sheet was one of the best things that I ever did, because having this category of what I'm returning to the bank was so much easier than going through here and trying to and rounding up afterward. It's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely easier to do it this way. So thank the good Lord I made the decision to do that. And now we will go ahead and pop into each of the envelopes and unstuff our cash. You know what? Let me just let's see. So, there's just that off to the side. So 606, just in case I clear the calculator. And let's get to it. So first up, we will just go into low priority sinking funds and grab everything from there. Work food is in here. Excuse me, my voice is just playing me these last few weeks. So we're going to pop into work food and grab $16 from here. Of course not. No, I won't. All right. So I changed my mind. Let's pop into one of the ones in the back and see if we can pull something and just build up some change. So, what else is in here? Family fun, dine out, Christmas materials, hers. Oh, you know what? That will provide us some change. So I'm going to be pulling 87, and I think I'll be able to make exact change from here. Or I won't. Don't you love a day like this? Oh my goodness. All right. You know what? This is what I do know. I do know that in grocery, I have all of the change that I'm going to need. So I am just going to do that. So we're going to work from high priority first. So grocery, I'm taking, let's see. So it's 15 and 71, which is $86. That'll get us some change. Let's say 50, 70, 85, and 86. But let me, yeah, because then I won't have the ones that I need. Okay, well, we're off to a start. And now I have, what do I have? What, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 left in grocery. Which, I mean, like, who saw grocery rollover happening on this channel? Not me. So $9. Oh, let me pull this off to the side. Oops. So 50, 70, 85, 86. So I will put a check mark next to our grocery purchases. So we got that one and this one, and now we have $9 left. I'll draw a line through that since that's the most updated one. Okay, so now since I'm already in high priority, I'm just gonna go, we've got household that we're taking 20 from. There were no other household purchases, I don't think, so. Household, oh, this is where we've got lots of change. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So glad I have ones in here because now I'll be able to make change when I go into low priority sinking funds. So, whoops. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, I didn't count my balance. What is it? A whopping, what, $2? Yeah, $2. Oh, goodness. It's going to drive all of us crazy. There we go. So we've got $2 left, and I did return that, and yeah. Home maintenance is going to be up next. We'll pull 13 from there. Oh, that's fortunate. 10, 11, 12, 13, and we've got $50 left in home maintenance. So let's go ahead and update that. Woo, just flung it across the room there, table, not room. Medical, the brutal and excruciating $250 that we are pulling from medical. Glad we have it, sad to spend it, but you know, better safe than sorry. Okay, so I'm giving it 300 and pulling back 50. So now in medical, we have 50, 65, 66, and 67. Oh, I'm so sad. It's fine. It's fine. All right. There we go. And 67 left in medical. And I think that covers our high priority sinking funds. Yes. Okay. Maybe I should have just started there. Maybe I should always start in high priority sinking funds, you know? All right, low priority. Now we can go into work food. I'm taking $16. Why does Dine Out have money? Oh, I put it back in Dine Out instead of work food. Oh, I wonder if you guys caught that and I was driving you crazy. Okay, so I'm taking, so 16, I'm giving 20, so I need 4 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now on work food, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Work meals. I don't know why I have work food on one and work meals on the other. And let's see. Oh, family fun. We've got 2 things, I think. Yeah. So we're taking 11 and 16. So that's 27 from family fun, which is way back here, I think. Yeah. So 25, 26, 27. All right. And we've got $2 left. Just 2. I don't know what's going on with my throat. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so this is the bottom one, so we'll put the balance there. And I returned that money and that money. So now let me see. Christmas materials. Oh, hers. Yeah, 87 from me. I think we didn't have change in here. Yeah. So 50, 70, let's just do 90. 50, 70, 90. I don't know why I grabbed the bottom one and not the top one. And I get 3 back. And so now I have 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 50, 75, 76, 77, 78, and 79. So 179 in my envelope. I am so excited about those shoes. 179, and I paid that back. Okay, let me check. Oh, home decor is in here. And I am removing the only $10 that resides within. I know it's in here. I gotta find it. Nope. There it is. $10. Absolutely worth it. And there's nothing left in here. And I did pay that back. All right, so it looks like we're just gonna pop really quickly into holiday sinking funds, which I finally updated my dashboard. I did it because this has been a very dashboard heavy week in my shop. Lots of people have been buying them from me. And I was like, you know what? I'm already here printing out so many dashboards. I may as well print out my new one. If you're new to my channel, this was actually flipped the other way. I printed and hole punched it incorrectly. And so like for weeks now, months probably, I haven't corrected it. So I finally did. Anyways, we're gonna go into Christmas and pull out the $30 from there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so pull 20 back, and now we have 45 in Christmas. Oops. I'm actually really excited about this gift that I bought him, so can't wait for him to open that one. Oh, I didn't do my balance check. Here we go. 2045. Well, and 1,500 in the bank, but in the envelope, 45. 45. Returned that. And then it looks, I think now we're just going into my business binder. And I am pulling first from, oh, that's right. I updated the family fun balance up here, so I didn't cross that out. I saw blank space there and I was like, wait, why is there a blank space? So materials we're popping into first and returning $42. Let's see. So I've got 20, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 40. Oh, that's all of it. All right, well, there you go. I'm glad we are keeping abreast of our spending here. And that is a 0 balance as well. That would not be a 0 balance if I did not irresponsibly leave my computer open and on the floor. Oh my gosh. Okay, so and now $25 from equipment. Oh, come on. 23. All right. So 25. And now in equipment, I have 20, 45, 46, 47, and 48. All right, and I think that's it. 48, and that's all she wrote. Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and give this cash account. Make sure we have 606. And that will be the end of this video for now. All right, here we go. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 54, 50, 70, 90, 5, 10, 5, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 600, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We did it. We got there in the end. It was very chatty, but we did it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on Monday with another cash stuffing. Bye, everyone.